Welcome back to the program. It is beginning to look a lot like a great economy and Christmas, of course. And the golden age is getting closer. As I predicted in January 20th, basically, right around the time of the inauguration, I said, look for the very end of the year. I did say November, December, but the very end of the year, you'll start to see just a little tiny bit. Just a little tiny bit. And then, of course, we had that horrific Democrat Schumer shutdown, right? And then I started thinking, well, I might not be right because of that shutdown. And I still think I might not be right. So I'm going to say that up front. But with today's jobs report and today's economy growing 4.3%, blowing away all expectations, it's just proof. It is proof of what I've been saying. Get ready for the greatest economic boom of our lifetimes. Now, is it going to start right in January? I don't know. I still think because of the shutdown, it's still going to take a while. I think it's going to be March or April. But then again, I could be under, what do they call it? Under promising and over delivering too. I'm being cautious. I'm cautiously optimistic that it could start sooner. But I'm giving you longer terms because I don't want to be wrong. And the next thing you know, it starts right away. But I said April. Now I look like a genius if it starts in January. I don't think it's going to. I think it's still, there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the economy, still trying to get out from underneath. But in 11 months, are you kidding me? This turnaround? Reagan, when he took over from Carter, how bad things were, 10%, 11% rates. Inflation was probably the same exact number. It took him 2 years. 2 years. And I think didn't they lose the midterms that year? I think they did. It took 2 years to see the fruits of that labor. Here we are, and we're starting to see, again, little bit, but we're starting to see a little bit already at the end of the first year. I think that is tremendous. So here's the latest here. The U.S. economy grew this summer at the fastest pace in 2 years, far outpacing any of the economists' forecasts. The Commerce Department said U.S. gross domestic product, the government's official economic scorecard, rose at a seasonally and inflation-adjusted 4.3% annual rate in the third quarter. The report on the July through September period was delayed due to the Schumer shutdown. Today's blockbuster, expectation-smashing GDP report is the latest proof that President Trump's America First trade and economic agenda continues to turn the page on the Biden economic disaster. American consumers are spending and American exports are surging, White House spokesperson Kush Desai said. President Trump built the greatest economy in the world in his first term, and he's in the process of doing it all over again. Americans can count on benefiting from a historic economic boom in 2026. Gross domestic product is a measure of the goods and services produced across the economy. Economists have expected the economy to grow at 3.2% on an annual rate in the second quarter and 3.8% in the next quarter. And it grew to 4.3%, so exceeding expectations. Prior to the inflation adjustment, the economy grew at an 8.2% rate. Real final sales to private domestic purchasers, a slice of GDP that some economists view as a clearer measure of the health of the private sector, grew at a 3.0% annual rate, up from 3% in the second quarter. This suggests that demand from consumers and businesses remained strong and gathered a bit of steam over the summer. Consumer spending grew much faster than expected, expanding at a seasonally and inflation-adjusted annual rate of 3.5%. That's up from 2.5% in the second quarter and above the 2.7% expected number. Trump's trade policies appear to have added to the growth in the third quarter, as exports rose 8.8% while imports fell 4.7%. Exports add to the GDP while imports, because they represent foreign production, are subtracted. Government spending added 0.39 points to growth. The main drag was private inventory investment, which subtracted 0.22 points as wholesalers and manufacturers drew down their stocks. This is likely to reverse in future quarters, adding to growth in future quarters. Fixed investment grew only 1.0%, with residual investment declining 5.1%, reflecting the sluggish housing market. Corporate profits soared in the third quarter, rising at a 17.9% annual rate after adjusting for inventory pricing effects and depreciation. Due to the government shutdown, this initial estimate actually combines data typically used for both the advanced and second estimates, so it may be more reliable than usual initial readings. This is amazing. It's pretty incredible with, I don't know, 30, 40 million illegal aliens that probably came in the Autopen years, right? How many of these people took jobs? How many of these people took houses, right? They're being deported, which means there's now going to be more homes available for sale. When the mortgage rates start to drop, everything should change at that point. But of course, we still have Powell in there, and they are slow walking this thing. Look, they want to help the Democrats any way they can, okay? But you got to remember, there's $18 trillion that has been promised to the United States economy. $18 trillion. I don't think there's been $2 trillion ever in 1 year in any presidency. So these numbers are so historic that you can't help but to grow the economy with that kind of numbers and manufacturing and distribution and everything else. I mean, it's just an unbelievable amount of money that is going to be invested in the United States of America. We're building new ships. We're building the Golden Dome. I mean, look, this is a president that keeps his promises. Yes, no one's been perp walked. Yes, no one's been thrown in jail yet. I get it. But hopefully they're working on that too. But we have to understand, and we have got to look at this from a historical perspective here. We have accomplished so much in this 1 year. It's truly incredible. I mean, these are earth-shattering, record-breaking numbers. And to where we were, I mean, what else can I really say? Now, before I close out this segment, couple things. First off, I want my MTV. Does anybody know what the first video was on MTV in 1980 when yours truly was 5 years old? Video killed the radio star. Why am I singing about MTV? Bye-bye, MTV. See you later. That's right. After 44 years, MTV is closing down for good. Now, in reality, I would say MTV from 1980 to like 88, 89, I'd say they had about a 9-year run where it was just music videos. It was just incredible. I mean, we remember the Thriller video. I remember being young, the MTV Headbangers Ball, where they had like, you know, all the big heavy metal bands that would play like after midnight and things like that. So many iconic videos that we could sit here for an hour going through, you know, like a Virgin, Madonna, all these different things. But it's all coming to an end. And in 1990, 91, 92, that's when MTV started to change, right? They started bringing on the Real World. They started doing these stupid things with Sweet 16 shows, and it just became like reality television rather than music. And quite frankly, I think that's when MTV kind of lost its way. But somehow it survived all these years. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard about it. No one has really seen it or heard about it. But apparently, it's no longer. And think of how many kids that are alive now in these younger generations that never saw MTV. Never, ever, ever saw it. We remember it because we're old. But yeah, it's going down. So I brought this up and I wanted to cover it mainly because it's nostalgia, because I grew up with MTV. But MTV to shut down all remaining music channels and everything else, ending 44-year era in television history, and regional broadcasters are weighing in. So it's an article with a bunch of like people saying what they like about MTV, but MTV is preparing to shut down its remaining global music focused television music channels and videos by the end of 2025, bringing a close to a 44-year chapter in television and music history. Well, there it is. I don't want my MTV anymore because I can't get it. So anyway, and then one other thing, sad news. Former U.S. Senator Ben Sasse, I believe Nebraska, 53 years old, he's very young, has announced that he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And he has said that it is indeed a death sentence. He is preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. He said that he's going to rely on his strong Christian faith. And, I hope he makes it. I hope that he, maybe there's a lot of advancements, from many years ago till now. I don't know. But I just want to say a prayer for him. I pray for his health. And I pray that, he can survive. But he announced it today, and he basically sounded resolute that it's not a good prognosis. So maybe he'll get a Christmas miracle. Who knows? Anyway, so those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. I will be doing a show tomorrow, and I'll probably put something up on Christmas too, I would assume. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll find something. So anyway, God bless.